Hey, Ev Melendez here, and I'm going to be going over grading assignments in the Gradebook. So head over to your Gradebook module and go to the tab in Gradebook called Gradebook. This is actually going to take you to a screen that we like to call the Gradebook spreadsheet. So this is a listing of all the assignments that we have in here for all of your students based on whatever class we're currently in. So the simplest way to grade an assignment would be for the entire class in one shot. And I can do that by clicking within the spreadsheet any of these cells that is for the corresponding column. So this is pronoun 1, that's an assignment I want to grade, so I can just click in this top box and that'll open up another screen. Now I can grade the assignment for the whole roster. So of course, it's based on how we set up the assignment to be graded. I've done a numeric scale for this. But if it was alphas, it would be alphas. If it was another type of system, it would be that. So I could type in the score, and then I can click and go to the next student. When I'm finished, I can click the Save Grades button, and that will actually post the grades for that student. Go back to my spreadsheet, I can actually see that those grades are there. So let me go back in here, because there's a few extra options in here. So one thing to point out is I can always hit the tab on my keyboard, go to the next kid. So I can kind of quickly punch in the grades for all my students. Another thing too to point out is this top box we like to call is the magic box. Whatever grade I post in that top box, if I click this all button, it'll actually append it to all of my students. So say everybody did very well on assignment, I could punch in 100 for everybody. Click all. And then kind of go to the students that maybe did not get the perfect 100. Again, just remember to save your changes. We also have a comment box in which you can type a comment to yourself. These comments would just be for you if you want to leave that in here. Needs extra help maybe, used notebook, whatever you want to do. However, you also have this little comment chat bubble that has a green plus symbol to the right of your comment box, which will open up an additional comment box for the parent portal. So this will append a little note tag to the assignments within the parent portal, so they'll be able to read these. So I could say, please contact me, or I could always say, great job. So kind of like the assignment grades that we punched in before, the top one is the magic box. I can click all and I can copy the assignment that's internal to all of my students. Or if I want, there's actually a copy parent comment to all students in which I can click that and it'll push it out. Of course, you want to be careful with what you're commenting on to the parents. And I click save on this one, it'll actually minimize the parent comment. But now that little chat bubble will be golden, and you'll know that you've added a parent comment. I could always click it again to edit it again. Click the clear button. I could always copy it and paste it too if I want to. So we also have these little check boxes here that stand for different things. You have absent, incomplete, exempt, and missing. So the incomplete as well as the missing can have preset scores from the profile that you're using for them. So I could set my missing assignments, for instance, to an instant failing grade, and I could set my incomplete to some type of incomplete grade. So I could set my missing to maybe a 0 and incomplete would be a 70. So that way it would have a default grade to them if you'd like to. Absence and exempt, those are really two types of exemptions. An absence is an absence, so we're not going to hold it against them until maybe we've given them time to make up the assignment. And an exempt is you're choosing to exempt that student from the assignment, so it won't be held against them. So whatever you choose here, it will affect their grade. So let me click save here and reset this screen for one moment. Let's just say that Kevin here was absent, missed class, so I'm going to save the grade like that. He's going to be absent. So now Kevin comes back and makes up the assignment. So I can uncheck the absence, and I'll give him a 90 because he made it up. I'll click Save Grades. Now he'll have a 90, but this column here is the previously recorded grades assignment. So it will capture if the student previously was absent or had an incomplete or missing for you. You just want to make sure to have saved it before. Save the absence first, then undo the absence and record the grade and save it again. If I go to the gradebook spreadsheet, and actually let me mark a few off here before I do that. Go back to this gradebook spreadsheet and I'll show you how those grades look. So first I've appended internal notes to all of these here. So I can actually hover over that and it will pop open and show me the note. Now for these grades, incomplete, exempt, and missing, they show up as the letters on my spreadsheet. Now for this one, because he was absent and then came back and took it, you see the 90 there, but the red A is the previous grade. So I know at a glance that this student was absent at one point in time. So that's really the best way to grade your assignments in whole for your class, but you can also grade them individually for a student. So if I click on Kevin's name here, it'll bring up his personalized screens within my gradebook. Now if I go on this first screen, which is the assignment screen for him, I'll see all of Kevin's assignments for whatever parameters I've selected here. I could break it down by category, status, and I could also break it down by marking period, or I could show all. So on here, this is everything to do with Kevin. I can punch in his grades. I can also mark him as absent, incomplete, exempt, missing. Additionally, there's one extra feature here in which you can hide assignments from the parents module for him if you want to as well. Say there's an assignment that the parents you want to hide from and Kevin was not graded into it, you could always do that. So that way they won't see it online, so they won't think that Kevin needs to be graded for it. So that's one of the things that you could do there. Once I'm done, just make sure that you click the Save Grades button at the bottom. If I go back to my spreadsheet, you'll also notice that instead of the NG that I started here with, I actually have a marking period running average in my gradebook once students have a grade. You can always view the calculation by clicking on any of those numbers, and you'll get the individual marking period grade breakdown for the student that you clicked on it. So you can always double check the math of your category system or total weight system to see if things are calculating the way that you were thinking they should. The math I've never really seen be wrong here before, so possibly if you have an issue with the number that's coming out, it's a setting that you're not using properly. You can also click on the year-end summary tab here too to kind of take a look at really a breakdown of the marking periods over a course of time if you want to see a nice review screen. And that wraps up grading